All right. Hello, Mr. Khan and Mazda and Tansy Shar. So I'm going to try something. I just want to see how it works, so bear with me. Okay, we're going to try this. It says, click on a comment and it will show on screen. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay, let's try this. So we have Mr. Khan and Nastora. I'm saying that right, I hope, here. Well, congratulations on the move.
Yeah.
And so we have Mr. Khan and his wife. We have Shar. We have Shay Shay. We have Lovey Cat Knife. So what I'm going to try to do is, as we go down, I'm going to pop you up on the screen, and maybe we can do it this way, and that way people will see their name as they are getting their reading done. And I love Kermit the Frog. All right, you two. I am using the deck Penelope used last week. What did you call it? Mystic Dreamer Tarot by Heidi Doris. And so Penelope used it last week, and I didn't go looking for it. I pulled a bag out of a box, and presto, there it was.
Darcy.
Yeah.
Can we lower that a little bit so it doesn't cut off part of my chin?
Unfortunately, no.
Lower your camera.
Higher your camera.
No. She's got to tilt it downward.
Tilt it up?
Downward.
It is up.
Oh, she said tilt it downwards. There, a little more.
No, that's as far as it goes.
That's as far as it goes?
No, but that's better.
Okay, so we know who we're doing first is Mr. Khan. All right. So we have for him and his wife the Knight of Swords, and that's a new message. It made me think he was on a donkey, but I think it's supposed to be a horse. But there's a tornado in the distance, and the sword shining bright, which is communication, cutting through crap and getting to the destination you want to be in. Messages coming towards you, movement, keep moving, don't stop, headed in the right direction. So to me, a lot of good things going on for you. And for Mastora, you have the 10 of Cups, which is celebration, finding yourself a little bit more at peace, maybe having to cut through the storm to get to this feeling of peacefulness is what the two of you have experienced. And they're saying that just to keep going with it. I love the yellow. It makes me think of brightness, of spring, the summer, summer coming into play. And it could be in 10 weeks, you might find a place you actually want to purchase on your own. 10 weeks, it could be October, but the 10 stands out. All right. So I hope that helps. So next is Shar, Tansy. Need prayers for family. We lost a little one. I am so sorry. And so Shar is next.
Shar, I'm so sorry for your loss. I know there's been a lot of loss recently, again, through the family. For you, oh, sorry. I'm using the Druid deck, and it was created by Philip and Stephanie Carr-Com and illustrated by Will Worthington. This is a very cool deck. I love the size of the cards, but this is the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands says this is a time for you to be confident and to be strong, confident both emotionally as well as physically. I don't know if you can see, but I mean, this is a pretty strong and powerful warrior woman. She's tamed a feral cat underneath her throne, and that cat is willing to stay there to protect her. The fire in the background is sort of like when you think of Rome, the burning of Rome, and you don't care. You lit that fire, girl. You walked away and went, I'm done with the chaos and the upset of my life. I live here in the present to help my family in the present.
All
I'll
right.
keep in my prayers, light a candle.
Yeah, and very sorry for your loss. Okay, next is Shay Shay. Do we see a pink or blue color for her in the future? First thing I thought of was blue, honey. So, but I've been known to be wrong. Then again, look, I'm wearing pink glasses. Maybe that's a sign. And you have the Magician. So you must be in the early stages. And the Magician is about having all the paraphernalia that you need. But this is announcement. And I really like the brightness around them, which means angel wings. That's what I'm hearing. On the wings of angels comes to you a desire and dream that you wish for. So that is what I'm hearing. All right. And we are fine. Lovey's next.
Yes, doing quite well, Lovey. For you, the Two of Cups. Here is a couple, and they are united. And when I see this, I think of soulmates, but always remember, soulmates don't have to be your lover, your partner, your husband, your wife. Soulmates can also be friends who have traveled through time, and always know that when they get to that beginning of their journey on the cusp of this life, they have vowed to always stay connected. This is a time for you to renew connections. And if you are in a relationship, it's time for you to renew the connection in your relationship.
All right. No, I just muted to talk to Ashley for a minute. Hello, Googie Rain. You're never going to live it down. Anyways, Three of Cups. Now, cups are emotions. And as you can see, the three ladies are in the field. Their hair is down. Looks like they've got tambourines or musical instruments or above them. And they are dancing like, who cares who sees us? And because I know you dance, you should probably be dancing. Bring in the weather. Listen to the rain above you. And it makes me feel, okay, this one here, right there in the tree, I'm not sure if it's a butterfly or some form of an animal, but it makes me feel like you've got a message coming towards you, and the rainbow brings promises of sunshine, but it also brings promises of rain, because that's how we get the rainbow. And we are, I think, ending a full moon. So we are going into a new cycle. So dance like no one's looking and enjoy life to the fullest. Okay, Brenda's next.
This is the last day of the full moon.
Okay, so Brenda's next.
Brenda, for you, the Ace of Cups. This is a very dynamic and colorful card. Whoops, there we go. It talks about not just new beginnings and new opportunities. This also talks about you tapping into your creative side, your creative ability. And creativity isn't just picking up a pen or painting or something and doing it because you have the skill. Creativity, you're being called to create. And sometimes that means stepping outside your comfort zone and taking a class, whether it's crocheting, knitting, growing something that's creating. And this is a season of creating for you. And that's why the Ace of Cups is so important.
Right. Hi, Carrie. It's nice seeing you, Carrie. We have the Queen of Pentacles for you. And I love the way she's leaning in the chair, and you can see this image of the sun behind her. And what I also like is the fact she's holding on to her money and she's going, oh, what can I spend it on? But notice she's holding on to her money. So it doesn't mean you go out there and you spend money, but there's also news of a baby and there's a trip where you're going to be close to a cliff. I don't necessarily think you're looking over the cliff, but if you are, be careful in case of an updraft or anything. Enjoy yourself. Be free. All right, Rochelle is next. Hi, Rochelle.
Rochelle, I hope you're doing well. Rochelle, this is a really good time for you to be aware of your finances. Pay attention to your finances. Now, I'm and Darcy will both tell you we're not financial managers. We're not people advisors in any way, shape, or form. But when the King of Wands comes up, the King of Wands is saying, please take care of your finances. If you have a little bit that you can save and set aside, get a good investment broker who specializes in this and tuck away money for that rainy day or that project. And this also says, kings have the ability to be a bit gracious. So take some time to be gracious as well.
All right. So we have Sandra and Sandra. So hello, ladies, and Ola. I hope you've had a good time in Mexico. And Sandra Murray, you have justice. And justice is about finding the balance and realizing that when you look at something, you're looking at it for the first time with fresh eyes. And it's moving, it's following the flow of life and not worrying about the direction so much you're going in, but what you're doing at the moment, you're in that direction. And it also talks about justice is normally the black and white of things, but I love the idea that justice, because normally she's blind, it's a case of closing our eyes and listening to the truth. Now, Sandra, number 2, you have the devil. And thank you for joining us from Mexico, by the way, ladies.
It's very cool.
You have the devil, and she's sitting on a skull of the devil. And there's, I think, a raven or a blackbird beside her, and the fire is burning and everything's moving around her. It's shifting, it's changing. And the moon's in the background, and she's got her hand on her chin as though contemplating, what am I going to do now? Oh, I just burnt that down. So what's the next project? Where am I going next? Do I stay exactly where I am at? And we all know you're coming home. So it's a case of trust your instincts. Sandra, number 2, be bold sometimes and don't be afraid to step out of your safety zone. Okay, Margaret is next. Now, I think Margaret might be new because I don't recognize her last name. So hello, Margaret.
Hi, Margaret. Okay, so before I forget, happy International Women's Day to all the women and those who assign themselves to feminine nature. Happy International Women's Day. Be bold, be brave, and be beautiful is always my message. Speaking of which, this draws on the Princess of Wands. This talks about being outgoing, being bold, being brave, being beautiful. This is the beginning of a venture. So this is where it comes in handy, hon. You're right at the cusp of starting that journey, and there's no time for hesitation. You got your walking stick, your staff, and it's time for you to do that first step and tap into your feminine power. And men out there equally have feminine power. Mm-hmm. It's time for you to tap into your feminine power and to take that step on that road and see what's waiting there for you. Don't second guess it any longer. Just hop on and get going.
All right. Rochelle asked a question after the fact, and I answered with a yes. She wanted to know about becoming a hypnotherapist. And yes, it's a huge career change, but I do think it's positive if you want to follow that road. Again, trust your instincts. So Tracy, hello, Tracy. You have the 3 of Pentacles. And pentacles are about money, but they're also about earth, planting seeds, ideas, concepts. So this could be a creative card. It could be that you're attending a wedding or a funeral, but you notice that they're painting like Michelangelo, except they're painting the opening the way they want to see the front of their house. So Tracy, this may be a new adventure for you. And if it is, paint it the way you want to see it, not necessarily the way everyone thinks you should see it. All right. That's important to always trust yourself and go in your direction. Okay. And then Manuela. Hello, Manuela.
Hi, did she have a question or anything?
No, she wants a card for her husband as well. So her and Dave.
Okay, so first, Manuela. Honey, the Princess of Cups. This says that this is a time of relationships, and this is a time for you to follow your dreams. And don't be so hesitant to follow your dreams. Don't be so afraid. This woman here is giving an offering to the universe, saying, "I'm ready. I'm willing to take that first new step." So this is your time, honey. Follow your dreams.
And Dave was next.
Dave?
Yep.
Dave, the Three of Pentacles. I love this card. Check out the cat. The Three of Pentacles. First, Pentacles always remind me that we're talking about money. We're talking about building on success, building on a dream. So the two of you have a joint dream. There's a possibility that this is a time for you to be joining on a dream. And you notice people are watching because you have some skill that you could actually teach other people. And it is a gift to be able to teach someone your skill. I don't know if you've ever seen carvers in the long houses where they're carving the totems and stuff. People actually go and they are taught by the masters. And these men and women who are carving are more than willing to show you how to do it, to see if you've got that gift. So, new adventures, building on a dream, possibly teaching, okay?
All right. Rochelle, for your husband, Jay, he has the Strength card. But this card is making me feel a transformation, changing, moving in a new direction, possible a new job. And it's also about having your voice heard. And it's two people who work together quite well. The calmness, like the mouse and the lion sort of idea, the calmness and the strength go together perfectly. So I'm going to say that he is about to experience transformation. He has a possibility of a new job coming towards him, and he should rely on his strength to get what he needs inside of life, but to use the quiet voice to achieve it. All right. Jacqueline's next. Hello, Jacqueline.
Hi, Jacqueline. I hope you're doing well. Jacqueline, the Nine of Wands. This is kind of a formidable card. You know, it's a bit, when you look at it, I mean, here's this weary soul, and he's got his arm in a sling, and he's got all these sharp obstacles blocking his way, which can, if we're not careful, overwhelm us and lead us towards depression. So first things first, if you're feeling like you are overwhelmed by the enormity of whatever life is, do not hesitate to go and speak to someone. And I don't care if in your mind you think, oh, it's not as big as other people. Anthill is a mountain to you, me, everybody else in the world if we're tired. And yet, that being said, the best way through any difficult situation is to remember, deal with just this. You're never going to get to the 8th or the 9th thing in your way until you deal with the first thing. But the beauty of this is the Nine of Wands also says, I'm one step away from the end of this issue, the end of this problem, and a new, brighter journey begins. So hang in there. Go talk to someone if you're overwhelmed.
All right. Hello, Annalisa. You have the 9 of Wands. All right. So no matter how hard the burden gets, you're able to pack it. There's growth all around you, new starts, new beginnings. The 9 is about weeding out things inside your life that you don't need. So maybe summer cleaning, rearranging the closets, things like that. But it's also about messages. So you may find that you have some messages and invites to things coming towards you. And that could be over a 9-day, 9-week, or a 9-month period, or you may get a lot of invites in September. And it's really about, what do you want to do first? It's sort of like putting a whole bunch of irons in the fire and just pulling one out at a time and saying, okay, I can do this. Now I'll move on to something else. Okay, so keep that in mind. Brenda, you're welcome. Orville, you're welcome as well. Margaret, I believe Penelope read for you. Lovey says, no ex, that ship sailed and sunk and rusted away. I love that. And Heather is next. Hello, Heather.
Hi, Heather. Heather, for you, the 8 of Wands. You know what, honey? Just go through that closet, and anything you don't want to deal with, you get rid of. You know, purging is one of my favorite things. So, you know, the best way to open the door for a new adventure, new love, new reestablishing old relationships, whatever it is to get rid of the stuff, like this young man is, throwing it all away. Get rid of the stuff that doesn't serve you anymore, because you are, all these ideas are coming, and it is time not just to streamline your life, but to streamline your future of business, relationships, everything. And streamlining requires purging or washing that man out of your hair.
Well, not sure Liam wants her to wash him out of her hair. Waiting for him to marry her.
She still needs to streamline and purge.
Liam, you have the Ace of Pentacles, and I don't know if you can see inside of there. There's a G and an E, and so George and Aaron, maybe, or Eric. And there's a new gate opening, an opportunity presenting itself. And also you may be working on a water fountain this weekend. And if you are and it's cold, make sure that you're looking after yourself afterwards, getting dried and warmed up. But there's also, a mausoleum. That's normally where someone's buried, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm seeing a mausoleum. So I don't know if you've got something like where you've buried something and you're going back to have a look at, you buried a pot of gold. Did you know that, Heather? And you may be going back to look at something that you buried, an idea, a concept, and bringing it to the forefront again. Like if there was something you wanted to learn, you may be going back to do it. Okay, Kathy is next. Hello, Kathy.
Hi, Kathy. I hope you're doing well. You know, Kathy, for you, the 7 of Wands. And the 7 of Wands says that it may feel like you don't know how to solve a problem, but you do, honey. You know how to solve it, but here's the catch. There's a difference between knowing how to solve the problem so it's off your plate and you never have to talk about it again. And there is a difference the difference is, one, you solve the problem because you know how to solve the problem, or two, you don't solve the problem even though you know it because you like the attention. But the thing is, sooner or later, you got to face that problem and you got to get it off your plate. It might be small, it might be big, but the thing about little things that we want to keep with us to draw attention to us, they can snowball if we're not careful, honey. So clear off your plate, deal with what's in front of you, and you'll be okay.
All right. So Liam said, don't worry, Penelope, you're also invited to dinner. And Heather says she wondered what Liam's going to be cooking. Sandra said, thank you from both Sandras. You're welcome. And Alana is next. Hello, Alana.
Wait, Liam's cooking? Can I put in a request for butter chicken? Coconut rice?
Yeah. Alana, you have the star, and the star is about change. Okay, but it's about moving, transition as well. So change and transition, I guess they could be the same thing, but the way I was thinking of it is transitioning into a new proposal, new job, new home. And the change is more about something yourself that you're changing, something that you want to see changed. And like, I'll say, I'm going to probably go for a haircut. So there's a change, something that maybe transition into it by starting short, like a little off, little until you get to what you're looking for. It's like that, but there's a new ship sailing around you and the stars will lead the way. So Tracy says thank you. And then we have Lily. Hi, Lily, honey.
Hi, hon. I hope you're doing well. Have you seen Faye today?
Not yet.
Me either. Lily, this is a wonderful card. This card says it all. Rebirth. And rebirth also talks about hearing the call. You notice there's a person in the background who is blowing on a horn. This talks about hearing the call. Hearing the call, new beginnings, new starts, the chance of a situation that seemed difficult suddenly coming out smelling like roses. But hearing the call means time of action, time to start something. So this is your time, sweetheart. New beginnings, rebirth.
All right. Cynthia. Now I'm hoping this works for everyone. Now when you go backwards, you can actually see where you were if you missed it. Cynthia, you have the sun. This is reflection, but this is nurturing. This is remembering what it's like to be a child and letting that child loose. It's about adventure. It's about make-believe. And I think in all of our life that we have to have that hidden garden that we can go to, even if it's in our mind, so that we can have those few moments of peacefulness. But Cynthia, I also think this may have something to do with a loved one, like a mom, a grandma, or a cousin or something like that, looking down on you, keeping an eye on you, making sure you're okay. Okay, Lovey says thank you. Kathy, she's back. Hopefully she got hers. And Laureen. Hello, Laureen.
I'm trying to think what I want to say to Lorraine. Lorraine, for you, and the reason was I'm trying to think of different things to say. This is the sun, hon. And the sun,
card.
what?
That's the card I just did.
Yes. And that's why I had to take a moment to figure it out. The sun says, you know what? This is your time, honey. You are absolutely free to be able to express everything you want to express. So although they say one should caution one's words and caution one's speech, this is a really good time for you to get your opinion out there. Things like if you were thinking of supporting a candidate or even running in some form of political venue yourself, this is a time for you to start laying the groundwork and considering it, because you would rock at this. So follow your dream, speak openly, and speak honestly from the heart. And then if it is politics in a political venue that you're looking at, always remember the best people, they follow their convictions and keep to them no matter what. So keep me posted.
Okay.
Oh, look, the guppy.
Jacqueline.
Supermarket.
Yeah, Jacqueline asked if she could get another card because she's been seeing TikTok readings about pregnancy and having a baby. Anything come to you ladies about it? I'm hearing not at this particular time, Jacqueline, but it doesn't mean it can't happen.
I'm hearing it still, the same thing. Babies come when babies are supposed to come.
Yeah. So if anything else shows up, I'll tell you, or Penelope will. Okay. Hi, Lisa. Lisa, you have the moon. Okay. So we have being alone, contemplation. This might be time for meditation for you. It may be time where you take a step back and you look at your direction And it doesn't mean you're going to be alone for the rest of your life. It just means, Lisa, that at this particular time, you're thinking about you. You're not worried about what's in the past, what's in your future. It's right now. So I guess it's about being in the present now, but it's also the idea that the moon always, like we said, time and time again, the moon rules our emotions. So maybe it's about taking a step back from your emotions and putting them on a plate and saying, what is causing that rawness around me, and what do I have to do to fix that rawness? Is it having the time to myself? Is it being around other people? Or is it just time to admit that it's let go of what you're holding on to, because maybe you shouldn't be holding on to it anymore? Jeannie and Brandon, please.
Wow, for Jeannie, and ironically enough,
Janine.
Sorry. I didn't even look. Janine. Hi, Janine. Hi, Brandon.
Well, that was my fault. It's how I said it.
I've got to start looking at the screen and paying attention. So, Darcy, I'm really not pulling cards looking for yours. I equally got the moon.
Who's this one for?
This is for Janine. Janine,
All right.
the moon talks about feeling like there's something you want that you can't achieve. And this says that you're a little bit afraid that you won't achieve this dream of yours. But the beauty of the moon also says if you can face what you fear the most, and the moon can, during that fear, there's confusion with fear, right? But if you can face that confusion, can face that fear, anything is possible. And the beauty of having this fear to face or this confusion, first you have to express it, whether you speak it, write it down, shout it out to the universe. How? At the moon. But once it is out there, it also is no longer that enormous thing that weighs you down. So speak it, write it, shout it, howl it, but get it out there so it doesn't leave you so confused and overwhelmed and frightened, okay?
And Brandon.
Yes. And for Brandon, oh wow, the moon and Brandon, the star. Stars talk about things being achievable, wishes coming true, being able to reach for that almost impossible thing. And with a little bit of work and a little bit of effort, you can achieve it. So the moon says, whatever the fear is that's holding you back, and because the two of you are joined, I'd say that both of you can achieve your wishes as well as get through the fear and confusion.
Yep. Kathy said thank you. She is trying to look after herself a little bit better. Heather says Liam used to cook until he met her, and Liam says he'll have to work on that before you are over. And Cynthia says thank you. And I never knew there was a psychic supermarket.
Neither did I. I saw the words and went, so do we go like, are there psychics sitting on a shelf?
I guess so, and you just go in and pluck them off.
And are some of them on sale?
I don't know.
% off?
But Lorene says, oh my God, that was so awesome. And thank you very much. And Lisa, you're welcome as well. So we're at the end of the list of people right now. We'll just wait a few minutes because we do know that occasionally, just as we go to hang up, people show up. And so let's have a look at Jacqueline's question about, is there a baby in her future? 7 of Cups, Jacqueline. Anything is feasible here. Look at that. Wishes, dreams, desires. That is what the 7 of Cups is all about. So it is feasible, but then it takes 2 to tangle, or, you know, other ways of getting pregnant. And as Penelope said, babies come when they are ready, even on due dates, because we are sitting on the date that, well, tomorrow is my daughter's birthday.
Yeah.
And so she will be 38 years old. And the idea and concept that she came home like 38 years ago, it's amazing. Her birthday's tomorrow, and she tried to be born today, but I wanted her to hold out until the 9th. for a special reason. And nonetheless, there she was, and here she is now. Okay, so we have MG. Can I have a reading? I'm new. Well, hello. How are you? You have the Four of Wands, honey. And the Four of Wands is celebration. It's normally also foundation, but it's also about a wedding. It's about possible work adventure. It could be going into a new area, but it could also be that you are in a romance, or you're going to be in a romance, and you may be looking at marriage. You could be invited to a marriage as well. And it's all about the dance. Like, when it's been so long since I've been in a relationship, but what I can remember about it is if you dance well together, and that's just an analogy, then it works. But if it doesn't dance well, you got a pair of shoes, you can run away, or else you can open the door and push them out. So relationships are different, and they can be exciting, but they can also be time consuming. And that's the word there, time consuming, which means you got to spend time to find out whether or not this is the person you want to be with.
You didn't make that sound quite as positive.
It was positive.
You know what, our gran, seriously, I remember once saying, how do you know he's the one? I thought I was madly in love with someone. I was like, what do I know for Adam? I was like 16. And she goes, oh, she says, being in love is like trying on shoes. I said, Grandma, she says, yes, you just keep trying on shoes till you find the pair that fits you.
Well, she wasn't the only one who told me that. My Auntie Lil also told me that as well. She says sometimes you just have to keep kissing frogs until you get the right one.
Now,
I stopped kissing frogs.
Yeah, well, that doesn't help, right? Oh, Faye is watching, and so is Caroline.
Well, I don't see them now, so pull one for Faye. And who's the other person?
Caroline. She was there first.
Okay, pull for Carly, and I'll pull for Faye.
Hi,
there's Faye.
Carly, for you, the tower. I know that the tower looks overwhelming and really, really formidable, but there is something, I've always said this, the coolest thing about the tower is knock it down. Knock it down, get rid of everything you don't want. And when all the disaster and the fires are out and the debris has settled down, you just pick out the things you want and you move on with a clear playing field. Hell, you can rebuild on the same ground if you want to, but you rebuild more solid. So even though it is rough and it is frightening looking and you feel like the end is the only thing that's going to be there, the truth of the matter is the end is not the end. The end is actually the beginning of a new journey.
Yeah.
To you.
Hi, Faye. Faye, I pulled this card for you. The Six of Cups. And the Six of Cups is celebration. But look at this. This is definitely a wedding. But it's not just a wedding. It's a birthday. It's about celebrating the spring as it comes towards us. And it's about just being there. It's family. Six is all about family, about how we cherish the people around us that we have as family, that we treat as family. So in my case, my family, my friends, they're all family to me. So it's that. And since you're with Kathy together, that means that you're both enjoying the family. Was that who you read for, Kathy?
No, I haven't read for Kathy.
Okay, Kathy's with Faye.
Oh, I thought you were going to read for Kathy.
Oh, I can. So, okay. Kathy, you have the Five of Wands. Okay, we're going to stand off and we're going to go for an adventure and we're going to look for things. And sometimes people get in our way. Okay, it doesn't mean that I would say get a broom and just sweep a path, but these people have swords, but this could be practice. That's what that could be about. It could be about practice. Practice makes perfect. Or at least, if you're sewing something and the seam doesn't look right, you take it out and you do it again. So there's something here that you need to practice, whether that is your gift they're talking about, whether it's practicing having your voice heard, then practice. Okay, Liam says good night, ladies.
Good night, Liam.
And that's it. So we will say good night to everyone. Thank you so much. I hope you can let me know if you like the idea of having your name up. So when you go back now, you can have a look. You'll see where your name is, and you know that it's for you. And I hope everyone has a fantastic night, great weekend, and look after yourself.
Don't forget to set your clock forward. Tracy and I had this big discussion about it. I am opposed to it, but let's not go there. Thank you again, everybody, for showing up. You know how much we appreciate it. And I believe that I am a better person for having each of you out here. So please take care. I will leave you always with Ma Salama. Go in light.
What day do you set the clock forward?
Saturday night at midnight.
Well, okay, because, unless you tell people, I could set it forward tonight and I'd be at work even earlier than normal. Okay, everyone, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. Always a pleasure. Without you, there wouldn't be a show. And look after yourself, and may love, joy, peace, happiness, and prosperity find you all in mysterious ways. Okay, Elaine, you just got here under the wire.
Elaine.
Pull it for because we're just about to hang up.
Elaine, just a sec. Elaine, the Queen of Pentacles. Watch your health. Take care of yourself. Listen to you know what? Go beat your own drum, girl. Don't go waiting for other people to sing your praises. Talk about how amazing you are. Tap into that inner woman and your strength. Beat your own drum and be loud and be heard. No more time. The time for whispering and hoping people can hear you is past.
All right. Okay, once again, good night, everyone.
Good night.